Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to Sup Homeslice. So glad to have you here with me at the corner, the pizza shop on the corner of fantasy and betting. As always, you know where to find us. Week 14 in the fantasy football world, in the NFL world. Kicking it off with a great one. Green Bay Packers at Detroit Lions there. Going to be an interesting game. I wanted to say Ford Field. Not sure exactly what they call the stadium there in Detroit these days. But it's NFC North, man. I think they should just try to keep this tradition. Like the Lions should play every Thanksgiving, and then the Thursday after it should be Packers and Lions. I just think it's a wonderful thing that you can keep going and give those teams possibly 2 weeks off in a row. If you're new to this, if you're watching, welcome. Make sure you subscribe over on our YouTube, and if you're watching on X or on Evans as well, he can't be with us just at this moment. He might hop in here in a minute, but get the comments in. I have my phone loaded so I can see when a comment comes up and I can answer because I know there's a lot of questions about Week 14. Big bye week. We got 6 teams on bye. I mean, so many people with a chance to get in, winning in, losing out. So for a lot of people, the playoffs begin this week by default or by some charity leagues. Battle of the Sexes I know is going on this week. Gary Davenport's death match is going on this week into the playoffs. So several of the charity leagues going into the playoffs as well this week. So let me know if you got questions. I will be more than happy to answer to them. We'll get them up there and going. And like I said, just subscribe if you're not. All right, you know how this show starts. Let's get right to it. So the dole roll is right there. You can see some of the bets. We look back. We weren't here Thanksgiving, so I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope you got to spend it with people that make you happy. I know I did, so I'm really thankful for meeting up with my in-laws. But right now, it's all about this week. We've already wore off all the Thanksgiving, eating and everything that we could stuff our face with. It is now time to get to business. Week 14 action. Looking at it, but last week, as you could tell, or 2 weeks ago, not our best bet. We were at 22.22 units, the unlucky number there. We went back to weeks, got it in there, 17.27 units. Fryerbooth actually came in from Riggs. Shout out to the Colorado Sports Forum. Make sure you go follow them as well. So he saved us that week from having an imperfect week. So I do appreciate that. When we get right to it, though, like I said, without Evan here, the show might go a little more quicker than normal. No big problem with that whatsoever. But, we always start out with something called Stuff Crush Smash, and the principle behind it is just something we feel really, really good about. Okay? So it can be a bet. It can be a fantasy play. It doesn't matter. So if you got anything that you feel really great about, put them in the comments just like Daniel did right here. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Like I said, if you're watching on my X, and if you can, put the comments in there. Let me see if you got anything you need a decision on: wide receiver, running back, flex, what IDP, you name it. We'll be happy to answer it, as well as any NBA questions. We are about the NBA as well. NBA entering week 7. Some good matchups tonight. There was, I believe, 5 games with a 4-point spread or closer. So, that's going to be some good basketball. I'm very much looking forward to some of those matchups as well. When we get right down to it, though, this is this week's Stuff Crust.
The pizza boy, look at it go, make it dance.
So I don't know if you can see it loaded right there, but what we have is a, Jack Campbell, man, linebacker for the Detroit Lions. He's going to let me make it a little bigger. I know you can't see it when it's like that, so let's go right here. Well, you can't see it right there either. I'll just go away, and then I'll talk over. There we go. We got Campbell, as you can see. 2 units placed on this bet, and it's for him to have over 7.5 tackles tonight against Green Bay. The reason being, Josh Jacobs, man, he had several attempts the last time they played, even when they were playing for Heim, because Jordan Love had he was injured, so he wasn't able to perform at his best. He wasn't as mobile. So that benefited all the linebackers in that game, but Jack Campbell really stood out for the Lions as he was able to get 13 tackles, I believe. I'm looking up at the stats right now while we look at it. So, for him to have over 8, he's been at 7, 9, 13. He's been at a couple of these numbers lately that indicate he's right around there. And keep in mind, if you're new to this bet, it is tackles plus assist. So even if you get an assist, it counts as a full tackle. That would be 1. All right, so if he got all there with assist, that would be okay. Last time he played Green Bay, he had 13 tackles, 6 solo, 7 assist tackles. Excellent game for him. Nothing else on the stat sheet. He's a typical tackling machine. Like I said, last week he had 3 against Chicago, so not his best game, but Alex Anzalone's gone, guys, so he'll be out. He's out on IR. Campbell's going to have to step it up. He was a high draft pick for a reason. The weeks prior to that, though, 9-9. He got 9 against Indianapolis, 9 against Jacksonville, 7 against Houston in that little stretch of AFC South games. And then, like I said, Green Bay, he had 13, and then Tennessee, 11. So the potential's there. He's had a lot of 7 games, but 1, 2, 3, 4 of his last 6 games, he's gotten over this line, and I don't see why he wouldn't be able to do it tonight. I'm, feeling pretty confident about that. So with that in mind, we're going to put 2 units onto him. Breaking down the stats right there that you can see yourself. But coming back to it, Campbell over 7.5 tackles plus assists, 2 units, brings back over 3.5 units, so over 1.5 ROI. That is return on investment. Hopefully Jacobs, somebody posted in the comments. So, yeah, hopefully Jacobs does have a good game. That'd be great for a lot of my best ball teams. And let me hear about your best ball teams. Are you getting them in? Are you for sure advancing? Are you on the cusp? Do you need to come back? Give me all that information, man. I love talking fantasy football with all you guys. That's what we do here at the corner of fantasy and betting, looking at it all. That brings us to kind of one of our favorite dishes, and it's appropriate since tonight we got the cheese, with Green Bay, and we're going over to Detroit, with the deep dish, which means it's getting saucy. So the saucy bet, here we go.
Cold pizza Tuesday.
Yeah, so actually our sauces boss bet is taking a look at none other than Chris Paul. He's a 39-year-old. I mean, I had my props on here. We got the football. We can talk some basketball over here as well. And Chris Paul, man, 39 years old, still getting the job done, playing at an elite NBA level. Tonight they are hosting. I went blank on it. I should have known this. They're hosting the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, the Chicago Bulls, and Chicago, believe it or not, has the worst defense in the NBA, giving up over 123 points per game. That's worse than the Washington Wizards. They just basically try to outscore people with Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic, Zach LaVine. They can go up and just run you up and down the court. And they're currently, I believe, in 7th through 9th in the East. I should had that pulled up for us all. But with that in mind, Chris Paul's double-double, man, that is set at plus 155. Without Victor Wembanyama, he's gone over 10 assists, I believe, in 3 of those games without him. And he has another opportunity to do it against one of the worst defenses in the league. And he'll be looking at his players to dish off to and get the ball out, doing what he does best, being, the point god, as some people call him, CP3, the skate instructor. The skate instructor days might be over. But he is still a great court vision general with the ball in his hands. And we're looking for him to get 10 assists plus 10 points against a defense that should allow him to score at will. They're not going to be pressing him every time he gets across the half-court line. He's going to be able to look. He's going to be able to see things. And he's still sneaking behind defenses. He's still averaging over 10 points per game, even with Wembanyama, somebody that kind of demands the basketball a lot in order to be successful, catches it up high. Then Wemby can do whatever he wants with it up there because nobody's going to be at the same level as Wembanyama with his hands up. So once again, plus 155. That is Chris Paul. We're looking at over, with the double-double. All right. And then sticking with basketball, we do have one more bet. Michael Porter Jr. I got the Nuggets hat on. That's how I roll over here. We keep it always professional, with the sports jacket, wearing the Donald Driver underneath, somebody that had a lot of success against Detroit. And then, of course, the Denver Nuggets hat. Looking at Michael Porter Jr., man, let's pull up his stats real quick so we can all see it. I'll make it a little bigger for us all. I'll tuck myself away in the corner here. And, yeah, Michael Porter Jr. has gotten forgotten a little bit. He's kind of the unsung hero of the Denver Nuggets, signed a max contract extension, drafted by him, drafted him in the 2018 draft, 14th pick overall. He's a core member of everything we are. He's averaging 18.7 points per game, man. 7 rebounds per game. It seems like he's been right about 7, 8 rebounds per game. Occasionally gets a double-double, for about 2 years now, man. And he's only set one game, I think, just for rest and missed one game due to injury in that time. So really just a guy that's really dependable, which is what you need in the NBA, particularly as your third, second best player. Excuse me. So his most recent games, you can see 22 points against Golden State, 18 points against the Clippers, 19 points against the Utah Jazz, 18 points against the New York Knicks, 24 points against the Los Angeles Lakers. And then you get to Dallas Mavericks, 123 to 120, kind of a blowout game. He had 17 points. So all those games he played 31 or more minutes. And he has field goal attempts, let's see here, 14, 11, 15, 17, 15, 12. So he's getting several field goal attempts as well. And there's no reason for him not to make that. I think that over 16 and a half is well in play. Like I said, 17's in play there as well, 24. Yeah, you actually got to go back to Memphis in the first game when he only had 10 points and he only played 27 minutes. So in games that he pretty much is playing over 30 minutes, he's getting the 17-point mark. I went ahead and put a unit on it playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. It should be, pretty great matchup, honestly. Denver is exactly what I talked about. They're great at winning, but they're not necessarily great at covering the spread. So they're +3 tonight, rightfully so, +4 depending on the sports book against a very good Eastern Conference team. So we'll see how they hold up. They a little healthier. Aaron Gordon's kind of hit or miss. We'll see what he is at game time decision. But that either way, Michael Porter Jr. benefits. If Aaron Gordon plays, it's another threat. MPJ will be open for a lot of threes in the corners and so forth. If he doesn't play, MPJ will be asked to do more. And he's been playing. His 2 game is really impressive. He's developed a mid-range game shot that I haven't seen prior to this year. So kudos to Michael Porter Jr. I think he's quietly having like an all-star year. He probably won't get the recognition that he deserves, but that's okay. We don't need recognition. We just need over 16 and a half points. We're trusting him to do it with 1 unit. All right. Switching it back over here, looking at some of the other bets today. Evan has Tim Patrick over 24 and a half receiving yards. Went ahead and put a unit on that. Patrick's been playing well. Unsung hero kind of over there with Khalif Raymond going down. Former Denver Broncos. So, we got to show him some love over here in Colorado. Like I said, Evan put the unit on that. Found those odds at -115, which isn't bad. And then, we generally try to keep it around -130 or better for this show. Nothing too heavily juiced. But he just said it, and I agreed with him 100%. Jordan Love over 1.5 touchdown passes just seems like a lock tonight, whether it be garbage time or whether it's because they're up. Even without Anzalone, Campbell there in the middle, we expect it to be stout with McNeil on the line. And they've just got Zadarius Smith. He still wants to be bringing it against the Packers. I feel like he plays with extra motivation. Some players are more vocal about it, such as he is. But we expect Love to get after it, whether it be because, like we said, garbage time. Hopefully, just from being up, just coming up. This has got a 51-point team totals our total from the game tonight. That's pretty high for Thursday night football. We've been watching these Thursday night footballs, watching along parties with everybody for about 4 years. And, it's just, you don't see that high of a score that many times. So with that being in mind, 25 of those points are, 21 of those points have to come from Green Bay. So 2 touchdown passes seem well within the realm. It's at -145, -150 on DraftKings when I placed it. I still laid the bet on it. I just feel like it's a good bet. You get over half a unit back on your return. If you really want to put 2 units, go for it. But we're just putting 1 unit with, we've got 5 units going tonight. So there's no reason for us to get, too crazy with it, if you will. And I do want to say, thank you for putting it here. We do have what is one of our favorite segments. But before we get to that, looking at bets, you need to be taking advantage at Better Takes.
Find your win tuition and elevate your sports betting with Better Takes. Better Takes examines your betting history to uncover hidden areas that cause bankroll leaks. Uncover patterns and biases so you can break the cycle of mistakes, avoid weaknesses, and play into your strengths. Our advanced stats offer unparalleled granularity, helping you immediately spot problem areas that could be affecting your success. Use the Better Takes Edge score to gauge your expertise for each potential bet, providing clarity and confidence in your decisions. Take control of your betting journey. Download Better Takes from the Apple App Store or Google Play today and start understanding your biases for free. Before placing bets, check with Better Takes, a smarter, more informed approach to sports betting.
You have it, man. Why not use any data when it's available to you as a bettor? You're just looking at data and strategy. And, probably some of you with your heart, man. I do love it. Evan, what's up, man? Says Sochan over 6.5 rebounds against the Bulls tonight. Iggy holding it down, trying to. Zadarius, I was looking at his sacks tonight. I don't know. We'll see if it's worth it. Brock Wright, anytime touchdown, plus 850. Put a little sprinkle on that saucy bet as well. Evan doing work, still getting over there. So I did want to show everybody that's what the Better Takes app looks like. Top corner right here. Black, green, white, kind of similar to our colors as well. You click the app open, it'll bring you to the page with your data. Mine's not loading so well right now. Hopefully we can get something going for us. Refreshing it. But once you do, you just simply put in your bet that you have a good feeling with. Straight bets, money lines, spreads, team totals, and so forth. And then it will tell you once you upload, the information from the sports books that they work with, you will have all the data uploaded to your phone on all your previous bets. You place what you feel good about. It calculates what your percentage is on that bet. Like, hey, you've taken Green Bay money line a lot. You've been successful in about 46% of them. Or, hey, you've taken the under on Thursday on these games, and they have a 52% success rate. All that will be calculated and information will be given back to you. All right. The last part of our show today, and then we'll wrap it up. It is normally the pizza parlay, and we'll go ahead and play the segment. So 3-ingredient pie, but what we're doing is we're going to step away from that. And what we're going to do today is look at DFS, because I like building those live, those pizza parlays. You could bundle up a lot of what we said, put it in a parlay, get a boost. There's usually a boost on Thursday night football games on almost every sports book. So, we do encourage you to look around. But what I've done instead is I went to FanDuel, playing on FanDuel, half-point PPR, kind of a style I like. You do have a hero in there, or I forget the term they say, MVP or whatever you will. But what I've went ahead and done, and I played in a $1 entry and a $25 entry. And, so if you like double doubles, this might be a different roster than what I'm about to advise to show up. But this is my pizza parlay. I went with Love as my captain, and we went Goff and Laporta. Doubling down on that, let's just say Laporta gets a touchdown, 70 yards, 6 receptions, somewhere in there. You want to definitely be a part of that. I think he's a big red zone threat, which is where you want this to take place with our, receivers, our tight ends, our wide receivers. It's all about the touchdowns, essentially. And then with Green Bay, we've also put in Josh Jacobs in addition to Jaron Reed, and that all comes in, under the requirement of the price guidelines. You get a little bit of change to spare. So, and like I said, $1, not a high stakes league. Just having fun with FanDuel, putting my DFS league together. And I think there's potential to be good because, like we said, Jordan Love over 1.5 touchdown passes. We fully expect that to happen tonight. So we went ahead and made him our captain. Maybe he gets, he's not a big scrambler. Maybe he does get chased out of the pocket, like Evan and I were talking about, and he does pick up, let's just say 18 rushing yards. Well, that 1.8 is going to be significant whenever he's the captain. That turns into what? 0.9 more. 2.7, so 2.7 more points just for picking up a scramble, so significant. I think there's opportunity to win there tonight. Hopefully we do, as Evan likes to say, bet only what you can afford to lose. With that in mind, just take it in grain. Our unit, like I said, I'll pull it back up for us and we'll close it out. Our unit may be different than what y'all's unit is. Some people, I've seen clients say, hey, here's, the receipt, betting $10,000 on their tickets. I was like, that's awesome. I don't bet $10,000 on my tickets. So, keep in mind with what your unit is. We've got the bankroll there. You don't want to just blow through it because we've won it. You can see we're up 17.27 units on the season on NBA and in the NFL. A few NHL bets, I believe, in there as well, or MLB bets whenever we get through the pennant race. But you always want to set the goal, set the betting goal, get to that betting goal, and then withdraw your units along the way so you're not just giving it back to the machine, so to speak. All right. As always, like we say, bet smart, be lucky. Thank you for being here. Remember, we have Greg and Tip with the question and answer shows at 4 o'clock Mountain Time, so 6 o'clock Eastern, and then they rolls right into the show with Greg and Tip as well, Pros versus Joe's style, Week 14 action, and that is the Thursday checkdown. And then immediately after that, JC and I come back from producing into the show, and we watch Thursday Night Football. Greg might stick around. We'll see. He's a Detroit Lions fan, so we can see if he can stick around as well. But we've been there with you just like we have the past 4 years. If you haven't, please make sure you go watch it on YouTube with us. Give us a subscribe. We're getting pretty close to our watch view hours as well. Monetization with another point. You just be helping us out if you kind of watch some of these on YouTube tonight with us. So if you get a chance, come join us. We'd love to have you. If you have any bets, if you have any questions about your fantasy football lineups, get them into Hall of Famer Greg, man. You got a Hall of Famer's advice. I'm in a few leagues with him, and honestly, they have their studs to sit, which is something you don't hear from very many people. They have a quite great success rate with that. So, you don't want to be disappointed by your stud with the playoffs on the line. So make sure you come check that out with us. Until next time, man, thank y'all for being with us. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy this Thursday night, and we'll see you later, hopefully.